So good afternoon, everyone. I will make it short. Starting with a multimedia presentation about our fuel sensors. Yes, in fact, thank you for the invitation and being with you here. Thanks to the Geotab team. We are the inventor, and 20 years back, we created the first high-precision capacity-based fuel sensor for the automotive marketplace, transforming a technology from aviation to the logistic vertical. 98 we created this technology. Now 20 years later we have the fifth generation of our high-precision fuel sensors. And I'm going to explain actually based on the expectation that we have here fleet owners, what is the basic for high-precision advanced fuel management? What is the business case behind this? And the business case behind is actually a limitation of the current technology in trucks. We have the controller network in most of the modern trucks. And there are two sensors actually implemented by the truck manufacturer, which should control and measure the fuel in the tank and the fuel being injected into the engine. In both cases, we have there certain limitations. And our technology and its value is to tackle these limitations and to deliver higher precision fuel management. And this is something everyone needs who is aware about certain use cases for this technology. When we started in '98, the first and most common use case was fuel pilferage, fuel theft, simply. And this was a starting point for this technology. Now it's a lot more. A lot more because it's competition, it's business efficiency. When we look into fleet budgets or budgets of fleet owner, we see that in many cases, a transport or logistics company has a fuel budget of up to 30% of its overall budget. When it goes into construction, it's up to 50% of the budget, of the machinery budget, being spent for fuel. So there's a lot of potential to track and trace, highly accurate, the fuel. And every % you can save here is something you can allocate for new equipment or for your profit, for your margins. So 50% is the maximum we see at the marketplace. And what you need to know, is how much your fleet consumes. When we talk about a fleet, it can be everything being powered by an fuel generator, engine, or similar. We install our fuel sensors in the truck, into ships, locomotives, into generators, into cars of every kind to make a higher accurate fuel management. And both of these controllers I mentioned being installed by manufacturers. The float sensor in the truck tank has a limitation of about or up to 20%. So you don't see 20% of the fuel inside the tank. This is based on several reasons. There's a blind spot on top of the floating sensor, which is about 10% of the volume. And then the float sensor, normally being installed in a tank, has only 30 data points by which the fuel level is being measured. It's like, okay, if your wife don't see 20% of your salary each month. So it's something good for the driver, for yourself, but the fleet owner might have a different option. And the second limitation of the injection sensor is that as soon as you have dirty fuel, the injection sensor starts to show limitations, especially when it comes to the accuracy of what is being injected into the engine. This goes up to 5%. And you don't see what is inside the tank. So you don't track the tank. You don't only see just consumption being injected into the engine. So this is one point. And yes, sure, in Eastern Europe, where we are based, and in Africa, America, or Asia, you have a lot of equipment not using a CAN or controller network. So here you have just one option, our fuel sensor. For what purpose do you need this more precise, advanced fuel measurement? It is just simple to plan, to track and trace. When you have the next gas station, how many liters do you have still in your tank to go to the next place, to make the next customer meeting, etc. And to set up your fuel supply chain, to get transparency of the commercial assets or the investments you did each month into your fuel budget. So we have customers with several million of liters per month, and they don't see 10, 20% of this within their supply management. Yeah, route management certainly is one point, also very important. And yeah, what we guarantee once our sensor is being installed and the full matrix is available, our software, we can online, exactly display how many fuel is inside any tank, stationary, mobile browsers, whatever. And you can make your business decision on this. So, and this is actually the fuel sensor here. 4th generation, we are going to start or to launch today. It's a Geotab platform, so it's actually a global launch here for us in Africa. And it has certain values or key points, unique selling points. It has the highest ingression protection rate you can find at the marketplace. So it has an ingression rate of 69 key. It protects against any dust or water up to 10 meters, so you can go swimming with this device. What you see above the green cap of this sensor is made of material being used also in the production of Kalashnikovs. So it's a Russian material, very robust, and especially designed for harsh conditions. We tested and used this in Siberia down to -60, and in Africa up to 80 degrees Celsius. So it's very reliable. In Eastern Europe, we have a lifetime guarantee. In Africa, we provide 5 years guarantee. So you buy something which is very reliable and serves you a long time. The tube you see down can be cut off, so it goes from 15 centimeters to 6 meters. And accordingly, you can customize it to any tank. It requires a calibration procedure. So once you installed it physically, you make a calibration to get an accuracy of 99.7%. If you like, and you invest some time, you will get even a precision of 99.7. So you will accurately see what is inside the tank, how many liters. This is an example of a test drive, a pilot in the Middle East. And I said, yes, reliability. So it's a long-term product. We are an engineering company. So the founder of OMNICOMM is an engineer, and we allocate a lot of investment into next generation services. New sensors, self-calibrating, actually the level. With this hardware, you see, and the fuel matrix, we power about 10 different fuel reports at the Geotab platform which are now available. So there will be a special add-on you can open, you can connect the Geotab box to, and you can connect the sensor to the Geotab box, and the fuel data will be transmitted from the sensor to the Geotab Go box and further on to the platform. Savings, yeah. So main use case was and is still fuel theft. So, and when you look, or when we look into our partners, into our projects, we get up to 50% of savings in terms of fuel consumption. This is the fuel theft. Then a lot of idle monitoring, so idle engine using, 3–4%, and bad driver behavior. So an American institute analyzed this, and in long highway, long haul routes, up to 30% of fuel is overconsumed based on the bad driver behavior. Harsh braking, harsh acceleration, etc. And this is something you can now catch, track, and you can educate your drivers based on this. So it saves a lot. Some examples. We are actually in every vertical. Yeah, so we are in the generator business. So below you see a joint project with Galiloli in Africa, where we installed our fuel sensors into gensets, tanks of gensets. This is being tracked, and yeah, you see the numbers here. We are also in ships, yeah. We are in the mobile browsers serving the Sheremetyevo airport in Moscow, and we have large-scale customers like Norilsk Nickel, the largest mining company worldwide for nickel production, which use our technology in about 20,000 vehicles. And you see the savements there. Just here, one example actually for the construction marketplace, the construction vertical. So an installation in truck tanks, in stationary tanks, gas station, and we have a special feature called fuel balance, so we can track fuel along the distribution line, from the refinery to the truck, with the gas station and stationary tanks, and can recalculate and reconcile where the fuel is being used, saved, etc. Yeah, that's it. Short, and thank you.